These Jeep XJs are fantastic. We'll assemble whatever paused or stopped during the video into a playlist. But these Jeep XJs are fantastic. They got a straight six, torquey as all get out. They're just real capable 4x4 machines. An older one like this, you know, it's just not made for somebody who's 6'3" and 380 pounds. Which, yeah, I'm one of those.
Did you say 6'3" and 180
no,
pounds?
380 pounds. That's why they call me Big Booey.
I wonder how much they had to.
Nothing. This is the topography of the hills here. They filled this, and there's a culvert pipe in it. Yeah, because that's the bottom way down there. So they filled all this up to make a road that wasn't too steep. It's typical in construction. I know that because I was typically in construction. So, you know, people that are into geology and stuff, you can look at the soil content. I mean, you can make stuff grow out here. There's stuff growing out here all by itself. So if you wanted to set yourself up with a little farm homestead and grow your own food and have your own livestock, it'd be, excuse me, I fell and I can't get up. So the tripod's not working all that well anymore. It just fell apart. So we're gonna have to figure that out. We apologize, but life just slammed into that tripod. So yeah. So call a realtor, man. Get yourself a 4 or 5 acre homestead out here. You can do a rural thing, grow your own food.
Didn't it say 3 to 10?
Yeah, 3 to 10. So that's 4. I think the rule is you have to have more than 4 acres to have it qualify as a homestead, to be completely off grid. Which is, I mean,
Arizona does have a community for off grids.
Yeah. So if you're out here, man, you can see it looks like it's big and flat. It's not. All of this over here looks like this over here. It's hills and washes and ravines. So you could, you know, it'd probably take you a piece of equipment to actually make something out of it. But you could do it. You could buy some property. Man, did you see how deep that ravine, that cut was down to that culvert?
No,
it was only about this wide, but it was 20 feet deep.
It drops
significantly down into that wash that's on the left. So here in Arizona, we don't call them creeks or rivers because they don't flow all year. We call them washes. Like this whole section here is a wash. You can see the gravel. So what happens is in the monsoon, if a monsoon burst hit here, you're going to get, you know, 8 inches of water like that. It'll only last, you know, maybe an hour. But all that water is going to go somewhere. It's going to flow down all these little hillsides, down into that wash.
Now, is it a good idea to build a house at the bottom of a wash?
Absolutely not. You want high ground, like that little space we just visited coming in. That's a great place. You grade the top of it, and you end up with a nice flat area for your homestead. You put in your stock pens, your farm, your greenhouse, your growing area, and they've got it set up in 2 different tiers. So whoever's doing that is doing a very well thought out way to establish a nice homestead. I'm going a little faster just because we're reviewing stuff we already went across. One of the other highlights of having a Jeep XJ is that it's narrow. You know, if you brought a Suburban or a full-size truck out here, you're going to get a lot of Arizona pinstriping. But the XJ is not that wide. And it's, like I said before, it's quite capable. I've already four-wheel drived it a little bit. I'm much more comfortable coming out in terrain like this because we had the Badlands 12,000-pound winch in the front. And although there's not a lot to anchor to, if we had to, we could find something. So as you're looking at this landscape ahead of us, you can see where all those trees are. That's going to be the Boba Macari Creek, I believe. And it does have water most of the year, not just reliant on monsoons. Now, can we get to it? I don't think so. I didn't see any roads that were heading north. That's north. That's west, east, and then south is behind us. There's some nice property out here to homestead, actually, the way the topography is. Now, of course, the way I look at everything is from a contractor developer point of view. So I want to have egress and ingress. I want to have roads. I want to have drainage. Those are the things I look at when I look at a piece of property. A lot of people just see a piece of property. I see what you can do with it. Because you got to have access in and out. That's egress and ingress. You want to have drainage so the top of your hill doesn't wash away. You want to, by drainage, that means you want to control where the water goes and how it gets off your property, or how you save it on your property. If you're going to have a big garden on your homestead, then you're going to want to save a lot of that water from the monsoon.
Or if you have livestock as well.
And and livestock. That means you're going to want a catchment system of some type. So, I mean, we're not that far from town and Highway 90, and you're very well removed. It's very private, very quiet. It would be easy to homestead out here on 4 or 5 acres and just exist unto yourself and your family, which I think is what a lot of Americans would like to get back to. This fence on the left, one thing I notice about it is it's a rural barbed wire fence. It's what's called a 4-strand fence because there's 4 strands of wire. There's only a T-post, which is a steel post that you pound into the ground. You've seen us use them on our chutes sometimes. There's only a T-post every 25, 30 feet. In between are just picked up pieces of wood. I think it's mesquite. It looks like it. There's other kinds of wood out there, though. I could see some different types. But then they just wrap the strands of barbed wire around that to keep them up, and then use the T-posts as the structural part of the fence. So it's interesting that you can do that with with your rural property out here. To fence that in with only T-posts and barbed wire all the way around 4 acres would cost you an arm and a leg. But doing it that way is substantially cheaper. And depends on your livestock. If you've got sheep or cattle or pigs might require a little bit more of a corral or a tighter pen, but you can easily keep livestock out here. There's grass left and right in the screenshot here. You can see cattle eat almost anything. You're going to have native predators like coyotes, and I think javelinas even qualify as predators. They're a nuisance. I can't stand them. Some people say they can eat them. I know what a javelina is, and I don't eat those.
It's not a rodent.
It is a rodent, and no. I don't eat those.
No, you actually Googled it. It's not a rodent.
Yeah, it's a peccary, which is a cross between a pig and a rat. So that's a nice little homestead up there. They have their own little road. There's electrical going to part of it, but you could easily go off grid and go solar with batteries, put a wind turbine generator up that's going to, because it is windy out here on a fairly regular basis.
I don't know if so you can wind turbine because the maintenance. Not
a huge one like they have that they're wasting money on, but you could put a wind turbine generator out here to supplement your solar with a 6-foot span on the propeller or impeller, and you'd probably do all right. So that gate is wide open. So clearly it's cattle country because we've seen cow flops. It'd be interesting to kind of do the math and see what it would take to homestead out here. You'd have your initial site improvement, which would require a tractor. You may or may not require drainage, depending on where you want to put your homestead. Could use the natural topography as your drainage system. If you wanted a catchment system, you'd have to have a backhoe and some tanks and a way to catch and capture capture and collect water. If you wanted to go totally off grid, you'd have to explore solar and/or wind. To hook up to the power grid is probably fairly expensive, depending on how far distant a pole is. I know out in East Cochise County, Sunsites, there is a whole big development out there. It's all in the flatland, but they developed it as a bunch of different home sites, and you can buy a home site out in Sunsites, still fairly inexpensive, but you still have to hook up to the power grid. You still have to put in a septic system, so there's expenses. I don't know what the lot sizes are out there because I never looked into it, but it's all doable. It's all something that can be looked into and done. Especially my friends out in California or other states where their property is worth more than when they bought it. You could take that investment, sell it, move out here, and end up on 10 acres and do quite well. Tim and Erica did that. They sold their house in Napa and moved out here and paid cash for their house, no mortgage payment, and that's, as an American, that's kind of what you want.
Oh, that's somebody's main house.
So you can see there's underground infrastructure here. Okay, that looks like it. There's an electrical box and a cable box, perhaps. I don't know if Cox ran wire out here. It might be a telephone. Who knows? Who knows when this was developed? We're just out here, checking stuff out, being two inquisitive fellows with the young lady, checking out what's out here. So this guy obviously put something together. I see an underground electrical box. He's got a nice big gate, using stock gates for his gate. Pretty nice setup. Right on the top, he's got stuff growing to give him wind breaks. It's a nice little place. Probably very peaceful. Probably his peace and quiet is only broken up for his family when people like us come down Lonely Dove Road, I think is what it was called.
No, I don't think it said long.
I think it did. So this is just really interesting stuff. The Southeast Arizona is wide open. Literally, you can get yourself a place. Well, here's somebody building a place. They've got their forms ready for a pour. They've got a water tank to the left, an outhouse. See if we can go up here a little taller.
It's a honey house.
See what's up. Yeah, they got the foundation is poured. They just got to pull the forms off. So somebody's going to build a house out here. They bought a piece of property, leveled off the hill. If you look in the distance, as I pull up a little bit, you'll see a track hoe off in the distance that has leveled out a very substantial piece of property on 3 different levels. So something big is going to be done over there, obviously.
I think that was that mining, or what I thought was mining.
I thought that was in the wash. Well, that's on the other side of the wash, because the wash goes this way. Well, let's continue on and see what we can see.
Looks like it comes around.
Yeah. You can see part of the fort in the distance.
Hey, I'm a fortune teller. We're going to end up on the road over there.
Maybe we continue. Yeah, there's definitely some infrastructure out here because so the difference between in real estate and when you bring a contractor is you have developed property, which can be anything from infrastructure like this box already put in underground, or it can be graded level lot sites. That's considered developed. Undeveloped is raw. Here's your lot. You got to get a surveyor. You got to figure out how big it is and what's up. So I don't think that's a public road. I think that's a private road, and the reason I say that is because it just has 2 names on it. So we're going to let that one alone. We'll continue down this way. So if you buy just a piece of property in a rural area like this, You get to get a surveyor. You get to lay out your home site, have it checked with the county. That's an undeveloped piece of property. Anything you do to it makes it developed. Oh yeah, we can see a bunch of stuff on the other side of the wash. Buildings, a huge gas tank, and the road gets rougher because this is not traveled as much, and the monsoons have created some washes and what have you. So, Tim, if you, as we come down here, if you pan to the left, that's where that track hoe is that we saw from up on hill. And you can just barely see a whole bunch of buildings over here and across the wash. Oh, because of my, oh, okay. Well, oh, this is interesting. So as we come to where this big wash is, look at that. That separation geologically of the lower and upper levels. From here, it looks natural, but you could easily make a case that it may have been either man-made or man-influenced. There's some drainage pipe over here and what looks like a burned structure. So this, or dump site, this might have been a bit of a homestead. So the road's going to get a little rougher. This is where the XJ shines.
That looks like a road over there.
That does look like a road over there. Let's see what takes us over there.
Yeah, that's really long.
That's a really long drainage pipe. So it looks like we're going to run out of real estate here, kids. Our rural road turned into just a flat, barely graded area, and it looks like we have come to an end. But I think Tim's right. I think if we kind of wiggle our way through here, we might come to another road or some areas where we might be able to continue driving. I don't know. You want to be careful in the summertime because your exhaust on a four-wheel drive, any vehicle, can create fires. So we at the end because you can't cross that wash. Even though the XJ is very capable, it's not that capable. Let me try to back out the way we came in. Watch yourselves now.
Hear that noise? Hey, what is that pipe for?
I don't know. It's a vent. It's structured as a vent pipe of some sort, but it's got a cap on it, so it may have been an exploratory thing. So that's the end of another road. So that's an interesting house. It's built on the edge of that plateau up there. I wonder if we can. I guess we will take that road that looked like it was private road of two people, and we'll see what we can see. There was no gate.
This is actually burnt out, or
there was no gate, and I didn't see any signs that said no trespaso. Yeah, that's a dump pile. Look at all those tires.
Somebody's dumping tires?
Well, yeah, you gotta do something with them. Take them to the tire shop, they go somewhere.
It's a hell of a drive just to dump some tires.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, if you're gonna dump something illegally, you want it as out of sight of everybody else as possible. So here again, kind of a rough road, still in two-wheel drive, and the XJ shines. This rascal's got some real good off-road capabilities. I just wish I fit in it better. We put a smaller steering wheel on it, or I did, and moved the seat back 2 inches. But it still is just, it's not made for somebody my size. Even if I lost, and I'll address that in the comments. Even if I lost 100 pounds, I'm still 6'3" with bad legs. I have to drag my left leg into whatever I drive, be it this or a Z71 full-size GMC truck.
You know what car I'd like to see you try to get into?
What's that?
BMW Z4 Roadster.
That's going to be a fail before I even try. So
I feel too big in a Z4 Roadster.
Here we can see a lot of the stuff in the wash across the ways there. I think once we get to the end of this next video, so you can see the backside of Hucuhca City, upper Hucuhca City, from here. So I mean, truly, we're not that far away from town, shopping, highway. So there's definitely something going on down in that wash. Looks like a gravel processing or something. It's not mining because I don't see I see a couple of conveyors and some grizzlies, but I don't see any processing of ore facilities. So look at that. Here's another for sale sign. So you could buy a lot from Long Realty or over here on the left and develop your own homestead. Very rocky area, but obviously if other people have developed their homes, you could do the same. There's a road that goes off to the left. Looks like it's just a ATV road. Interesting stuff.
I wonder what kind of machine that is.
Look at that. They got goats. So they got farming of goats. So they've developed their own little homestead out here. Interesting house. This is the way they do stucco in the big city. They use.
Hey, Colin.
Not too bad. How are you? Oh, they got chickens. There's a rooster. So they got a chicken house.
What all that is out there. Those are mining trucks.
No, that's gravel. That's a gravel processing facility.
Look at that. Look at how much they're doing.
I don't see water. I don't see a wash plant. I see a lot of conveyors, a lot of digging. Well, I guess there is a water collection pond.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Clearly, it's they're digging that hill down to nothing. Clearly, there was a big gate. There is a lot of conveyors to move material, but I wouldn't.
And look at it. They got that big truck down there.
Yeah.
The mining truck.
Yeah, but I can't see. That's just for moving processing material there at the site. I don't know. It might be a mine.
They're mining over here too.
Yeah, they've got settling ponds. So.
And that goes way back towards the hill.
Yeah.
Towards us.
So I don't know. That might be a mine. So this goes directly to somebody's driveway. So we're going to turn around.
Yeah, they've got 2 ponds.
Huh. Well, we passed by the couple of fellas up here. I'm going to ask one of them if this is a mine over here to the left.
I wonder.
I mean, it's Cochise County. We're filled with mines. There's something like 5,000 abandoned mines in Cochise County. So, could it be a mine? Absolutely. Might it be a mine? Not sure. We'll ask one of these fellers and see what they have to say. Since they live here, I'm sure they know.
See, that red thing, I think, is where they collect and then it crushes.
Yeah.
I do like heavy equipment. It's so awesome.
So do I. So they've clearly started building a wall out of the local rock, which is, we grew up in Napa. They do that around the vineyards all the time. They collect the rock and then put it up as a wall. This one is interesting in that they're using PCV pipe as well.
I don't see them anymore.
No, they're not out here anymore.
That's a cool idea, though.
It is. They use fencing material and make a form and then just fill it with rocks. So there's no concrete involved. Interesting. You could easily, very easily homestead out here. I mean, this is, they're obviously doing that right here. Hay barn, old horse trailer, some goats, And goats provide milk. They provide
Cheese.
cheese.
Meat.
Well, it comes from the milk, and meat
Yogurt.
comes from milk. So you can see that site better that we saw from the other side, where the water tank is and the outhouse. And there's a ravine in between. So very cool. Very, very cool.
It's a deep wash on both sides.
Yep.
With this little valley.
Ridge. This is a ridge.
Hacksaw?
No. Goat ridge. Because there's goats on it. And of course, living in a rural existence like this, you would have to participate with your neighbors, if you have any, on the upkeep of the rural road, which, as long as you drive civilized on it, you're not going to get a whole lot of washboard. You know, if you drive 30, 40 miles an hour on it all the time, you're going to beat the hell out of the road. It's just common sense. So don't beat the hell out of your road.
Okay, should we end it here and drive over to the other road and restart?
Yeah.
Hi. This has been a Fun Brothers production.
Have a good day.
Hey, what are you supposed to say? Like,
This has been a Fun Brothers production.
like, share, subscribe, comment.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, and subscribe.